Awesome, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Executive Recruiter Network. Today we have Janis with us, and she is an expert recruiter. We are very blessed to have her on the show. And Janis, tell us a little bit about your company. Introduce the audience to who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. So my name's Janis Ivory. I am the founder and active managing director with ISS Executive Search Partners. So we're a global recruiting firm that specializes in manufacturing and distribution environments, and really supporting all functions and departments. So from engineering, operations, finance, all the way to executive level roles. So we're a very specific niche within the industry.
Awesome. So how'd you get into staffing and recruiting in the first place?
It was by mere accident. It was actually in 1999, I had applied for a sales opportunity, and then they actually, it was with a small temporary staffing firm. So within a few months, they asked me if I would be interested in running the operations and as well as still being active in the sales piece. And that's really how I started. And since then, I've worked in different verticals within staffing, but now primarily in the recruiting space.
Awesome. So now, what are some things that you know now after all, the years of experience that you wish you knew when you first started out?
Oh gosh, there's so many things. But I also I feel like I had to experience all of those things in order to be where I am today. However, I think that one thing I wish I knew then would be to be consistent in everything that you do. And because without consistency, you really lose momentum. If that's in the sales field, if that is recruiting for great candidates and creating that pipeline. And I think a bigger part of the picture is to really not forget or don't lose sight of why you started in the industry. I think this is something that has to be very fulfilling for someone to be successful.
Now, I know you talk to probably thousands of candidates every single year. Right now, unemployment is at an all-time low. It's definitely a candidate market, but any advice that any of these candidates that are working inside your niche that you could just kind of give to the audience?
I'm sorry, so you're asking me what I would tell the candidates?
Yeah, just any advice for them, like someone looking to advance their career or trying to find their dream job.
I think the first thing is when you're looking to progress in your career, to make sure that you are not just mass emailing your resume. You really need to tailor your resume specifically for the position you're looking at. The resume piece is so important because these hiring managers get stacks of resumes to really identify clearly your accomplishments, any type of recognitions, something that really stands out to reflect how you can add a difference and be of value to that organization. And I think that the last piece of it is to really connect with people and consistently network, if that's with recruiters or utilizing LinkedIn, for example, to reach out to those organizations, direct hiring managers or VPs, and utilize those resources to stay very connected.
And because employment is at an all-time low, what advice would you give to the hiring managers in your niche, in your industry, when they're trying to find their perfect candidate? Without giving away the secrets, of course.
Of course. I think that there's a lot of components to that. What I'm finding most often is these organizations, it's important for them to figure out, especially with this generation, to find out what those appealing incentives are going to be. So if you can't be more aggressive in terms of the compensation for those roles, then try to find other incentives that would be appealing to them. So if that is, flexibility with working a day remote, or being able to have extra days off, or finding incentives, work-life balance is important to a lot of people now. So I think you cannot be more aggressive in terms of the compensation to really, as a team, try to find different ways to be appealing to this generation, to find other incentives that would get them excited to look at your organization.
Mm. I believe us millennials, the whole thing is all about culture now, right? It's not just about the money, it's
Yes,
about the culture fit.
absolutely. I think that's really important because, and a lot of people actually really create. Some of these organizations, they will have a room where they have baseball tables and all kind of exciting things for a younger group of people. And you don't want to put someone in there that's probably a little bit older, that's not really enticing or adds no value to their life to have a baseball table, right?
Definitely. Now, now for these hiring managers listening, you know, it's a very low barrier of entry. Like anyone can kind of say they're a recruiter, put up a website, that sort of thing. For your experience, like what are some telltale signs to separate a good recruiter from a bad one?
I'm sorry, you cut out right there.
Oh, sorry. What are some telltale signs that any hiring managers listening can kind of see, like what separates a good recruiter from a bad recruiter in your opinion?
Sure. Yeah, I think that's pretty subjective depending on who you ask. But I think from my professional experience, along with my own personal values, I feel like a good recruiter, first and foremost, they're truly fulfilled by what they do. They're very resourceful, they're very responsive, and I'm going to really hone in on that piece. I
Hmm.
see so often candidates complain about, these recruiters aren't even, getting back with me, emailing me back, calling me back. And I think, again, we talk to so many candidates a day, but I think it's very important that to be responsive, even if that response is not what you want to hear, to be responsive, or hey, I haven't heard anything yet, I'll definitely keep you posted. Please continue to follow up. I think
Mm.
that's most important because I always try to put myself in someone's situation. We've all been there in our life where the worst feeling is just not knowing, right?
Yeah,
So I think the biggest part of it is being relatable and really being empathetic towards other people and not looking at it as a job. And I think that's the biggest piece of being a good recruiter is being relatable on both sides, the candidate side and the client organization side.
absolutely. Because when you're taking on a job on behalf of a client, on behalf of a client, you're representing their company. So if you or ghosting the candidates or not responsive, they take it as almost like the company itself isn't being responsive. So you have that big weight on your big responsibility on your shoulders. Like you really hit the nail on the head, Janice. And if anyone's listening, and wants to get in touch with you that needs help with recruiting, how do they get in contact with you?
And obviously, the best way you can always call us, or you can email anyone on our team. But um, always happy to help those looking for new opportunities, as well as those that are needing support with their recruiting initiatives. And I think one thing where we have found a lot of success is we're big enough to serve from a global perspective, but we're also small enough to be very more of a partner and tailor
Hmm.
to our clients' needs. So definitely, you can always reach out by calling us or emailing us.
Awesome. And we'll definitely put your contact information below. And Janice, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much for bestowing us that wisdom, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.